Welcome more. So come thanks invest. We'll talk about investing, finance, and professional development for today's systems only. The investment you're going to talk today will be Ethereum TKTH. First, I want to say happy Friday, everybody. Have a great week so far. We're almost to the weekend. Respect to recording time of 9:22 a.m. on the Eastern time. Ethereum could trade $4,602, down about 2.55% so far. On the overall crypto market, it's relatively red again, right? We're still normalizing from the subsequent surge days that we've been experiencing so far from the CPI report, with anti-correlation effect between the equity market versus the crypto market. And also with respect to just the positive news that came from Australia on the ETF release, specifically for Bitcoin. And also for Bitcoin on a technical front, we've seen the golden cross that was, as we saw in front of our eyes, crossing up to the $69,000 that we've surged and subsequently dragged up the whole entire market to go up, with Ethereum being the brother and sister sibling rivalry type of relationship. Ethereum hit this $4,871.30 as an all-time high that we've tested earlier this week, right? So right now it seems like we're normalizing because of Friday, and there's some positive news, but there is there's only so much positive news that we can pump up on a daily basis to sustain more monetary circulation power onto it. And ultimately, with respect to the news front, it's mainly an influential, how would you say, a supply to motivate or incentivize the retail or public investors to buy in. So as that lemon gets squeezed out further and further, it incentivizes the whales or the large corporate investor to subsequently incur some sort of a correction, right? So there's currently some sort of a supply and demand dynamics and balance that's in place right now, which in the technical, it translates into being overbought, right? And the MACD forming a death cross, which we are seeing prominently as of this morning on Ethereum. Like currently, we are seeing a death cross, right? If you look at it closely, you can see that clearly the line has crossed down already. And we've been, again, right, squeezing the lemon quite some time, and you could see clearly how much we have been squeezing this lemon, right? This yellow line is basically like an elongated lemon that turned into a banana, basically. So something we have to be cautious about. So before I dive into more of a dissection of the technicals, let's go through the news real quick. The first one is on Cointelegraph about 11 hours ago, talk about Solana's Labs co-founder. And he says in the article, and he quotes, "We do not want to kill beautiful Ethereum." This is a name that people characterize Solana for quite some time now, saying that Cardano or Solana are going to be the next Ethereum killer, right? And with respect to the co-founder, in the article, he's basically saying that he's cultivating, a unique value proposition by themselves, right? They are not trying to do anything against or try to diminish Ethereum as a proposition. But they also believe that innovations is stem from competition, right? So they appreciate the just position, right? It's an honorable thing to say that Solana is relatively more early in comparisons to the adaptation and the adoptions and the evolutions of Ethereum versus Solana, right? So they're saying that they are not trying to kill, but they are trying to be partners or work alongside one another to make the ecosystem a much better place. So I respect his verbiage and I respect his perspective as well. So something interesting to learn about, that this is what he says on a public perspective. The next one's on Cointelegraph about 12 hours ago as well. This is something we saw yesterday with Ken Griffin from Citadel Securities, says that Bitcoin will be replaced by Ethereum-based currency. So this is something that he thinks, but in terms of anything substantive, as I was reading through and listening in, sorry, my phone's blowing up again. I don't know what's going on. I've been getting a lot of spam calls lately. with unknown numbers that I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so it's he's reputable figure in the American hedge fund community, and whenever they put them on the spotlight, they are supposed to say something diplomatic, and I think uh, he has his own perspective, but is he a subject matter expert in this space? No. So he could be right or he could be wrong, but he is an investor, a relatively seasoned one, and so I guess we read it, as an informative perspective, but we take it with a grain of salt, obviously. The next one is talking about on Bazinga about 13 hours ago, talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum stabilizes, scarcity become apparent. Shiba Inu trumps Dogecoin gains. So this is basically an article talk about the historical observation that we've seen in the last couple of days so far, so nothing really worth mentioning. And then the next one's on Decrypt 15 hours ago, talk about Ethereum name service, which is the the recent new proposition that came out, and the market cap just hit 1 billion just after days after the ENS airdrop that released, right? So I think this only happened in less than a week. So for them to reach already 1 billion market cap, so really in exponential growth, I would say. 1 billion is like not as like how would you say outstanding in comparisons to the past. I think 1 billion is slowly becoming like there are a lot more billionaires popping up here left and right on a weekly basis now. I think millionaires is no longer as sought after as we once thought about, right? It's just a thought. It's a food of thoughts, I guess. And the next one's on Bazinga about a technical analysis article. They talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum looks like it's about to break out. So this is talking about with respect to their Fibonacci levels, like if we're gonna continue to surge based on the momentum that we're seeing right now, like how much would we be going up next to? But it's kind of this article came out like a day ago. It seems like we're already selling down quite dramatically. So there might be a timing issue with respect to this article. Interesting, I guess, but nothing really substantive again, right? Their technical is just their speculations. The next one's on CNBC with Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. He said that like based on his recent verbiage and on his Reddit post as well, he said that he has increased his crypto holding from historically just like 1% to now 10%. And he basically talks about his belief in Ethereum, his belief in Bitcoin, which he holds quite substantially amount, but he doesn't really disclose how many. But it's quite interesting to see that, he used to be quite bearish about crypto, but now he's, obviously 10% is not a small holding in the portfolio, right? And then the last one, it's the last one. Ethereum continues to walk up on this bullish pattern. Is this break imminent? Alright, so this is another technical article, so let's just dive into the technical analysis. So right now we are down about 2.7% at the moment. Market just opened. We could see that we're like all green, like makes sense because of the normalization from the subsequent sell days from the CPI report that came out to be negative, right? 6.2% inflationary pressure. Not the most ideal for equity, right? Which subsequently translates to some anti-collision effect to crypto. So right now we are selling down. We just formed a def cross with the 59 out of 70. So ideally selling back down to again, right, to the 40k. Not 40k, 4k, 40k. Oh my god, that'd be crazy. To 4k, and then if we break 4k, we'll go back to the 3843, which you can see that that's the first level of substantiveness, and then the 3450 to 3150 ideally, right? But I think incurring risk around like 4,000 would not be a terrible level. Bitcoin right now is former def cross just as well. We are down about 1.57%, and right now 63,845. And you're seeing this bearishness, right? This surge is mainly because of the silver report that came out and some of the positive news that we've heard across the spectrum. So right now, selling back down to, again, 60K, which we're trying to get to now. As we break that, we're going to go down to, firstly, to 55, go down to 47 if we break 50. Yeah, if we break 50, we're going to hover around like the 52 first, and then the 47, and 43 from here. Dogecoin is still bearish. Ideally buy somewhere around like the 20 cents to 23 to 20 cents would be much more logical. Cardano right now, it's curving down, so it's still being trying to sustain to, do we go up to 210? Do we go up to 220? Do we go up to 230? We try to get above 210 and subsequently sell back down a little bit. We try to get to 220. We also got canceled out. We try to get to 230. We got there just for like 5 minutes literally, and then subsequently sell back down. So relatively bearish. So ideally buy at somewhere around like the 187. But if we break 187, we will break all the way to 145 just to be careful, right? Solana is still selling off. We have a def cross right now. So we have 3 def cross that we are seeing right now across the market. So relatively interesting setup on the industry perspective. So right now we are obviously a def cross, right? So ideally selling back down to the 190 as we break below 200 if we do. And then I think ideally for me to even incur any risk would be somewhere around like the 130 to 113 from here. XRP right now, it's again similar to like the how would you say, the Cardano dynamics, right? Try to get to 130, try to get to 120. We could not do so. So ideally wait for it to come back to 110. If we break 110, which I don't see that to be the likely, because we do have a relatively good platform, would be 110 as the next level. Polkadot selling off. We have a def cross. We're still going through it. But I think as we go back to the 42 would be not a bad level to incur some risk, but not a substantial amount. Until we get to the 30 all the way to 25 would be much more logical from here. ALGORAND, we are seeing a surge right now, up about 13%. No apparent reason. This is just whale manipulations. The technical is not even translating anything, imminent at that point. We crossed up already, so this is a relatively weird whale manipulations. So it's just 70 out of 70. So not the most ideal level to buy at right now. So just watch the movie or take some profit from here if you are interested, or hold long term, right? If you believe in the long term proposition of Algorand, right? Shiba Inu is down about 7.5%. Makes sense because we've been dragging up so long, right? We're basically feeling the whole gap that we've formed. We're still bearish, 51 out of 70. Ideally buying at somewhere around like the 2750 to like the 900 would be much more logical from here. And with respect to risk management level, these are the risk management levels as we deplete back to the, my personal Maurice's risk conservatism level, right? As we deplete below the 35 on the RSI scale, and as we deplete back to the golden cross on the preliminary perspective, right? These are the ideal level for me to incur some risk, right? So as you can see that we're nowhere near it right now, right? But it's a good thing that we are normalizing, or correcting if you may, because the risk is decreasing, which we appreciate, and these are the opportunities where you could capture and incur additional risks, right, to build up your position from here, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Hope you guys have a good Friday, and it's a rainy day in New York and really cold today as well. I'm actually gonna probably get a haircut, so that's why I'm wearing a hat. Doesn't make sense to like fix my hair before I go to get a haircut anyways. So really appreciate you for dropping by, and hope you guys have a good day, and stay tuned for some cup. Take care. Bye.